All right, hello. As some of you might know, I am Michael Schwartz, and hopefully by the end of today, you guys will know either something about me that you didn't know before or found interesting. So I'm going to take you guys back to when I started my interest for art, which was in Solon High School, when I took it as kind of just an extracurricular because they allowed me to do that. And as I was doing this extracurricular, I felt, very attached to it and very much in love with it, and I was asking if I could do it as a possible career. So the teacher suggested that I go to school for graphic design. Fast forward to Folk Hall, went to the Meyer School of Art to master my craft and skill at all the Adobe Creative Suite applications, as well as being able to understand the principles of design and all the theories that go along with it. Along the way in college, I was able to score a job at the Buck-Tolite, which is the school newspaper. I'm the fellow all the way in the back. Sorry for the image quality. And I mainly worked at page design stuff, but before I was a full-fledged page designer there, I mainly kind of just did graphics from time to time in cartoons, which I'm not sure if I really brought that up a lot, but here are some examples of cartoons I did. There's like celebrating Thanksgiving before Christmas, a zombie I did, anxiety during finals, hogging workout equipment, all that stuff. And the students seemed to really like it. So for a short bit, I was kind of known as just the cartoonist there, but eventually I became a full-fledged page designer there, and I think a lot of people know me more for my work at InDesign than as a cartoonist. So I decided to go to the Chagrin Valley Times and ask them, if I could intern there, and they said, okay, sure, see what you can do. So for a good summer or so there, I interned there, and I helped with a lot of stuff as far as redesigning possibly the paragraph styles, the headlines, the body copy, bylines, all that good stuff to make the paper reimagined and fresh. But as I was interning there, my main focus was on graphics, which was a lot of maps. Lots and lots and lots of maps. But it got me to get really precise and really good at Illustrator, which is pretty tough to do, surprisingly enough. That pen tool, man, can get pretty nasty. But near the end of the summer, though, I was able to rebrand them with the assistance of the general managing editor and another person. So it was kind of cool to collaborate with like-minded designers to create something. So that right there is a product of lots of designers and their work. So as I was done with the internship, I decided to give myself a brand, and I struggled a lot to come up with one. This is a lot of trial and error, as you can see here. So I tried to think, what could I do to label myself as a graphic designer? Before I could do that, though, I wanted to make sure that I had some portfolio pieces to present, and that's some test prints of work that I've done over the years in college before a big show. So I could show it to clients and stuff and say, look, this is what I'm capable of. And by this point, I was able to fully brand myself with a website, with an identity system. So when people look me up, they'll see this and see what I've done over the years. And it was pretty impressive to be able to learn all this stuff, because I never knew going into college I'd be able to learn how to do any of this. So then I finally graduate. I'm the guy all the way on the left. And once I graduated, then it became the dreadful job hunting, which I think we've all experienced one way or another, whether it's been before or after college. So I kind of started throwing my resume around and web URL around. And I did score a job back at where I interned, but also along the line, I scored a job at Avon Lake Press, and that's the office right there. It's all the way down in Avon. Not a fun drive, but I did get to learn a lot, and I did get to design a lot of magazines. I was a key designer for the Masters for sports. The Masters pages are usually like the insert for each issue, which would be North Ridgeville Press, Westlife, and Avon Lake Press. So it's a lot of Photoshop work, and also they have a lot of magazines, and that was one of the covers I designed for the North Olmsted Homecoming Festival. I got a lot of fun learning how to work with 3D type, and lots of fun with gradients and framing. As you can see right there, that gold took surprisingly a good amount. And also would like to also add that during my time at the CDPUG, I've been here for about a year. I volunteered working with the social media page, which I thought was pretty cool because I got to show up to board meetings and interact with a lot of members, and I thought that that was kind of a fun thing to experience. Look, there's me right there. Not sure who took that photo actually, but that was during one of the meetings, and it was really cool to be able to talk to a lot of professionals and experienced people that have been in this before. And I never got that in college or even in the field I was working at. And as well as being the volunteer for social media, I also volunteered for the blog post, or as Spike calls me, the blogmeister. And we kind of tag team. Sometimes I'll write stuff and sometimes he'll write stuff, and I'll proofread it. So I took a bit of that background for the newspaper to make it more editorial. And at the end of it all, I was able to score an internship over at Amerimark through all this. So that was something that was nice to come through all of this within the 2 years of graduating. So that's who I am. And if you're curious, there's my web URL and email address.